Hey, what's going on, Matthew? My name is Jack here with Mr. and Mrs. Leeds. Thanks for trying out our site auditor. I hope you got some insight out of that. I wanted to follow up here with a video analysis of your website and kind of take a look at your website and provide some further insight as a search marketer to kind of see what I can see and tell you what's been working out for you in terms of SEO, what needs to be done, and what the potential is out there, as well as how we could help you get there if we were to tackle this project on together. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get started. The first thing I did was I actually pulled up your website here in a tool called Ahrefs. Ahrefs allows search marketers like myself to look at the metrics of a website and kind of see what's been working out for you in terms of your SEO. Right off the bat, what I can see is that you have 12 referring domains on 53 backlinks. Now, if you didn't know what a referring domain or a backlink is, it's a very important measure that Google uses to determine how authoritative your website is. And in turn, your authority of your website determines how quickly you rank up for the different keywords you want to rank for and how highly you rank for them. Now, there's a lot of other nuances behind it, but as a general rule of thumb, that's kind of the case right now. And in order to build up the authority on your website, you need more backlinks and referring domains. Now, a backlink and a referring domain is basically any website out there that link back to your website via a hyperlink. So what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, there is a blog out there that's called theradioblog.com. And in that blog post, they say, hey, if you're looking for the coolest alternative radio in Wisconsin, visit WTMHradio.net. And then if the person clicked on that link, sorry, it would take them to your website. And that is considered a backlink. And so what you want is a lot of these backlinks pointing back to your website, because it shows Google that you're the kind of website that other websites like to talk about, that other websites like to refer their visitors to, because they're going out there and they're going out of their way to link back to your website via that hyperlink, via that backlink. And so Google tracks all these different backlinks and uses that data to determine how authoritative your website is, and to determine, and then that, like I said, in turn determines how you rank and stuff like that. And the fact that you're sitting at about 12 referring domains on 53 backlinks is just not going to cut it. We need to shoot it closer to a lot more closer to about 300-400 referring domains on about 1 to 4,000 backlinks. That's really going to show Google that you are a key player in the Wisconsin radio area, and that you really just need to build that authority on your website to really show Google that, and then you're just going to start ranking for all the different keywords you want to rank for, and then you're going to get a lot more traffic to your website, and then those visitors are in turn going to continue to start listening to your radio, as long as I'm sure the music is good, right? And so let me show you. That's your website. So what I did was I actually typed in Wisconsin radio into our Keywords Explorer. This Keywords Explorer tool allows us to look at the metrics of a specific keyword. And so that's kind of like what we like to do here at Mr. and Mrs. Leeds, right? And probably most any other SEO companies that you work with, at least if they know what they're doing, what we like to do is we basically like to work backwards, right? And so when someone gives us a website or a niche or business that they're involved in, we don't just say, hey, here's the website, here's the niche, this is probably what they're going to search for, this is probably what they're going to need. We don't actually do that now. What we do is we actually use tools like Ahrefs, and when we look at the actual metrics of a keyword. And so what we can find out about this kind of data is basically how many searches per month it gets. So we know if a certain phrase just doesn't get enough searches per month, then we know that there's no point in going after it, right? If there's 30 searches per month, at the very max, you're only going to get 1 visitor per day from that search query. And so why go after that when there's another keyword that has 300 or 3,000 searches per month, right? And so along with that, there's other data that we can find out, like what kind of competition is out there, how difficult it might be for us to rank for that. And so in terms of our strategy, what has been working really well and phenomenally well for our clients is basically for us to capture the lower hanging fruit, and what we call that in the SEO space is long tail keywords. And so these are more specific phrases that that don't get as much searches for as maybe like the more common keyword phrases, but it still has decent amount of search volume and a lot less competition, because a lot of these companies, a lot of these websites that are already out there, they're optimized for that main keyword that has a ton of search volume, but they don't realize that there's a lot of these low-hanging fruit. There's a lot of these lower search volume but very low competition, where if you just did a little bit of SEO, you would immediately rank at the top or on the or at the very least on the first page. Right, and so that's the kind of strategy that we do. Let me go ahead and get back into this and explain a little bit specifically what I can see in terms of this keyword. So Wisconsin Public Radio looks like it has by far this largest volume, and I know Wisconsin Public Radio is basically like NPR, but for Wisconsin, right? And actually, maybe they actually might tie into NPR, but Wisconsin Public Radio schedule, Wisconsin Public Radio Live, Wisconsin Hot Rod Radio, Wisconsin Radio Stations, Wisconsin Badgers Radio. Now, just to let you know, we can rank for the phrase Wisconsin Public Radio, but I don't know how much that's actually going to be, help you, right? If you think about it in the end term, like I'm not just trying to bring you traffic. I want to bring you targeted traffic that actually is going to convert into the action you want them to do, which is like sign up for your radio and to continue to be listeners, right? So if we were ranking for Wisconsin Public Radio, maybe that might be not be the best option, even though it has the most search volume, just because the fact that the kind of people that are searching on Wisconsin Public Radio aren't necessarily looking for alternative indie kind of music, right? But you know, Wisconsin radio stations, this would be a great one to rank for, 150 searches per month. Wisconsin Badgers Radio, I'm not sure about what that is. It probably is just another brand. Public Radio Wisconsin Public Radio Stations. The fact they have the word stations in there probably is a good thing, because they're just looking for anything that has it's a radio station in Wisconsin. Yeah, radio station Wisconsin. So you have some decent amount of searches. If we were to add all these longer tail keywords up and to build that out, you would easily at least have 1,000 to 2,000 searches per month for this kind of phrase. And then we can really start ranking it. And even then, this number right here isn't 100% accurate. From what I've seen historically, this actually tends to be a little bit less than what it actually is. And this only pulls data actually from Google. And so Google only captures about 66% of the search market. There's still 33% from places like Bing, or mostly Bing is the other competition, a little bit of Yahoo. And so, you know, you can imagine that there's about, 33% more traffic than what we actually see here as well. So a lot of different kind of keyword phrases out there that we could start ranking for, and that's essentially what we would do, right? We would basically come up with a keyword set about 5 to 10 that we want to go after, and then really start building out the on-page SEO and the off-page SEO to really start honing in on that keyword and to really help show Google exactly what kind of keywords you want to rank for, right? So that's kind of how I look at it from my and our SEO perspective here at Mr. and Mrs. Leads. What we do is we try and make it as easy as possible for Google to understand exactly what kind of website your website is, as well as what kind of keywords you want to rank for. And so when you make it easy for Google to understand what kind of keywords you want to rank for and what your website is about, as well as doing the other stuff like building out the authority on your website, it just really makes it easy for you to start ranking for all the different keywords you want to rank for. And so that's the kind of thing that we do, and that's the kind of methodology that we've had, and it's worked phenomenally well because that aligns with actually what Google's goals are, right? There's a lot of SEO people out there that like to game the system, that like to do all kinds of like little tips and tricks and things like that. But if you think about it, if you look at all the current websites that are ranking for all the different keywords that are ranking right now, you can see that they align their website with what Google's looking for, right? So Google is looking for content, right? And so the top kinds of websites that are ranking for all the different kinds of keywords out there are the kinds of websites that have a lot of content, because that's exactly what Google's looking for, and Google recognizes that those websites that have a lot of content tend to be a trusted website, tend to be the kind of websites that other visitors like to visit and stay on the website because there's a lot of good content on there. And so you see that, and so that's another thing that we like to implement with our clients, right? Having a lot of content, and if you don't have a lot of content, making sure that we have in-house writers, so we'll get them to write some content for you, and as well as like having citations on there so that your business goes out into all those different directories and tells Google exactly, hey, this is my name, address, and phone number. It's a legitimate address, it's a legitimate business in this location, and this is the kind of products and services that we provide. And so that's kind of like the things that we do. We like to align our kind of clients' websites with the things that Google's looking for, and we know exactly how Google's algorithm works. We know exactly what Google's looking for, and we just align with those, and it just starts ranking our clients for all the different keywords we want to rank for, and it brings them tons of business, right? Because nowadays everything is searched online. You don't use magnets anymore. You don't use phone books anymore. If you need something, most people are on their laptop or their smartphone. Just search up, hey, plumber near me, best radio station. And then the phone itself has a GPS location, and Google uses their own technology in there, and they know exactly where your location is. And then when you search up radio station near me, we can make it so that your website shows up first, and then you're going to be able to capture a lot of that traffic in that way as well. So lots of different options here, but it is definitely possible for us to start helping you out with this. I would love to kind of talk to you a little bit further, Matthew, about what you're looking to do with the website, what your time frame is, what your budget is, and then hash out a plan of attack and get going on this, all right? So again, I appreciate it if you watched this video all the way through. Hope you at the very least you got some insight out of it, and look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you.